Trevs Hockey Show and Trev TV. This one's being cross-branded. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, it's been 10 years, and this topic sucks. Not because of what it's about, but because of the fact that it happened. The fact that it's part of history, and the fact that we're here talking about it 10 years later. Can't tell by the title, can't tell by the intro, can't tell by the jersey. Talking about the 10-year anniversary of the Lokomotiv Yaroslavl airplane crash. I can tell you in 10 years it hasn't really sunk in, hasn't really made it any easier. But it happened, it's a thing, and we're going to talk about it. So if you're unfamiliar with the situation, the closest I compare it to North American wise is Humboldt, and that one's still pretty fresh. But September 7th, 2011, Yaroslavl was on its way to Minsk to open the 2011-2012 season, at least for themselves. The regular season already started. Salavat and Atlant were playing the rematch from the Gagarin Cup finals, and that game got called halfway through the second period. But what happened, essentially due to poor pilot error, and I'm not going to sit here and criticize a lot of things. I'm not even going to go into full depths onto how this all happened, but due to severe pilot error and severe mechanical maintenance or lack thereof, plane ended up shooting past the runway, lifting off late, jumping off of a tower mast, and crashing into the Volga River, or at least at the bank of the Volga River. Of the 45 on board, initially the first 43 were gone. All that was left was a survivor from the team and a survivor from the crew, and unfortunately for Alexander Galimov, the lone survivor of the team, he passed 5 days later. So of the 45, one survivor, and it's not of the team, it's of the flight crew. Now, the ultimate repercussion, the ultimate thing aside from 44 unnecessary deaths, is Lokomotiv had to pull out for that season. They couldn't compete at a professional level. They still had a junior team that could play, but as for a main team themselves, they had to withdraw for the season. Which sucked because you've created an imbalance, especially with the schedule alive. But the immediate result is the KHL got a couple days off before they restarted. Here's a list of everybody that was involved as far as the team's concerned. As you can see, the old former NHLers are bolded. But you can see a lot of young players in there. Jan Merrick, who was really seeing a career resurgence. Saleh, Vasicek, coaches, Korolev, Kapotsev, Brad McCrimmon, and your flight crew. For the KHL, this was severely bad timing because they weren't too far removed from when Sharapanov collapsed on the bench and ended up passing away that night. It's bad PR for them, and it's taken some time for the league to recover. Not so much from one, but both. But they did. Weather was fine. Good winds, clear skies. So really weather was not an issue. The aircraft, on the other hand, needed severe overhaul, needed maintenance. The old Yak models. If you've flown to Russia or have flown from Russia back before 2011, you might know what I was talking about. But ultimately, needless to say, the long-term repercussions is the yak line is not in service anymore. The NHL response was quite immediate. Firstly, though, every team in the KHL wore this patch for the entire season. I think Lokomotiv wore it for a couple seasons after they came back to the league. Capitals and Penguins wore the logos respectively for their home opener, with all jerseys being worn, signed, and auctioned off to help the families of those that were lost. The Red Wings wore this patch in honor of Brad McCrimmon, Ruslan Saleh, and Stefan Leave, with Jimmy Howard wearing this on the back of his helmet. The Ducks wore this patch in honor of Ruslan Saleh. The Hurricanes wore this in honor of Joseph Vasicek. The Blues wore this in honor of Pavel Demitra and Igor Korolev. The Devils wore this, honoring Karel Rashnek and Alexander Vasanov. The Grand Rapids Griffins wore this, honoring Pavel Demitra, Karel Rashnek, and Stefan Leave. The Dallas Stars wore this on the back of their helmets in support of Carlos Scratons. Top of that, the KHL also renamed their opening cup, which was usually played at the first game of the season, which is the game I was talking about, to the Lokomotiv Cup, as a fitting little tribute. There was a lot more as far as, countries the players came from, like the Slovakian national team retired the number 38 countrywide. Nobody can wear 38 in Slovakia. I believe the German team also retired a number. I don't remember for who, but that's there. There was a lot of national, international tributes as far as the hockey community was concerned with this. Like I said, 10 years later, it still sucks. I can tell you exactly what I was doing. It doesn't sound good on my end anyway, but I will explain. So, the day this happened, I was working graveyards, night shifts, working at night till the morning. So, once I got home, it was lights out. The day this happened, I woke up to this. Because my force of habit was wake up around 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, check the phone, read the news on it, and that was the first thing that popped up. That set the tone for my day. And there was so many familiar names, given the circumstance of what had happened, it was not a great mood that day. It was very, very mournful, if you want to call it that. Obviously, I had to talk to somebody about it. So I was hoping, people I was talking to at the time were awake. That way I could have a legit conversation, at least the ones that were into hockey anyway. Turns out they all slept in later than I did. But that's what I woke up to. And I've said it throughout this video. I said it then. I'm saying it now. That sucks. I mean, for the veteran guys, it would be nice to see them make a run. Because, Lokomotiv was by no means a non-contending team. They've been runner-ups for the Gagarin Cup 2 seasons prior. So the championship window, or at least their championship run, wasn't closed. It wasn't done. They were definitely a team on the rebuild. And little known info, Varley almost signed with that team. Almost. What stopped them? Getting a new contract in Colorado. So, the things you could have done that you're glad you didn't. For the veteran guys, it would have been nice to see them make a good deep playoff run. For the younger guys, though, the 18, the 21, the 23-year-olds. It's a lot of life that they never got to experience. I mean, the fact that the team was able to recover from this at all is amazement in itself. The fact that the league was able to sustain it. Because, I mean, Lokomotiv is one of their charter clubs. It's one of their better selling clubs. There's nothing short of amazing. But it was a rough day. And being it's 10 years from it, it's not any easier. Again, the fact that it even happened is what makes it the worst part of all. But it's a thing, it happened, and I don't know about you, but 10 years later, I still haven't forgot. I don't know if I ever will. Says another one of Trev's hockey shows, and another one on Trev TV. Well, thank you for guys for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you've made it to this point. I know it's a sucky subject, but I thought it'd be worth talking about, even if it was 10 years past the fact. But so it's off our chest now, right? That's why you're here. No matter what channel you're on, if you're on the main channel, if you're on the hockey channel, hit that like button. And if you're here on both channels, hit that red button that says subscribe. You know you want to. I know I want you to. We're so close to 100 on both. So let's make it happen. Subscribe makes you feel good. So let's do it up. All the socials in the description down below. Moving forward. For the main channel, well, there's another one of these types of things that I don't know what good me talking about it will do, but I might just talk about it anyway. For the hockey channel, well, I'm probably going to get back on some projects I got on the go. But either way, at any time, and in between time, be looking for more videos from the Trev. Later.